Well, I thought I'd begin by asking you, gentlemen, why this particular album?
Well, the Wish You Were Here album celebrated its 40th anniversary last year. So the album came out in 1975 and was pretty extensively toured after that. So in a way, our tour coincides with the 40th anniversary of Pink Floyd touring Wish You Were Here as well. In addition to that, it's a wildly popular album. A lot of the songs are really well known and brilliant music. So we thought it was just really appropriate to play the whole thing start to finish, which will be an exciting experience for us. We're actually debuting it in Whyalla for the very first time, doing it from start to finish, and we think it'll be a great experience for the people who turn up to enjoy the show as well.
What were the characteristics of the band's sound at that point in their career?
I think after they'd experienced the huge success of Dark Side of the Moon, they were at a difficult point in knowing where to take the band next, and they were either going to repeat Dark Side of the Moon again, or they were going to go somewhere completely different. And look, I guess Wish You Were Here isn't a completely different step to Dark Side, but it has taken the band off into a slightly different realm. It's maybe a more modern sounding album, and it's a very cold sounding album to my ears as well. It's there's a lot of technology at use on the album, and they've really honed the songwriting even more as well. Whereas Dark Side was really more of a concept album where those songs kind of ran into each other. This is choosing separate pieces that stand on their own quite well.
Are there sounds circa 1975 that are hard to recreate?
To be quite honest, that's very true. They are, some of them. And when you think about the technology that was in use at the time, it was state of the art for the time. But these days it's clearly quite considerably vintage. And recreating the sounds to get them absolutely as close as possible to what was used on the album is certainly a tricky undertaking, especially given that a lot of overdubs were used. So we actually have up to 11 musicians on stage during the production, just to make sure we capture every single sound that Pink Floyd did. And using our modern gear and teaching it to dial back and be 40 years older is, it's a great challenge, which we really enjoy.
Did you have to upgrade the technology in any ways just to recreate that vintage sound?
Probably not so much upgrade, but work with it really well. So, as an example, I work on the keyboard sounds, and Richard Wright was really quite a genius in terms of what he was able to produce with that vintage gear. So a lot of hours get spent not just in hitting the right notes and making sure the band works together, but certainly for me personally, it's getting the sounds exactly right or as absolutely close as I can. So my modern synthesizers are really emulating those vintage synthesizers. And if you ask the other guys in the bands with their guitar effects and their sounds, little things down to the effects we run the bass through, it's a lot of work goes into just trying to give the people who come to the show the experience that they're listening to the album, but it's a live setting with all that amazing live sound, the big light show, and we certainly try and leave no stone unturned to achieve that.
Experience Floyd they are. They're with us today. Matt Goodluck, Mark MacNab and Paul Bindig are here talking to me today. I'm curious, what makes a band decide to be a tribute band?
Well, look, there's a lot of tribute bands out there, or a lot of cover bands. We decided to do the Floyd thing because we're all big Floyd tragics, I guess, but it's also quite a challenge for us. It gives us the opportunity to recreate that music that, quite frankly, people aren't going to see live anymore in the flesh because, as we know, Pink Floyd called it quits last year officially, although they've been inactive for some years now anyway. So I think it's really important from our perspective to be able to deliver that live experience of a band such as Floyd to both a younger audience and an audience that grew up remembering it that isn't going to get that opportunity to see it again.
What's the difference between a cover band and a tribute band, in your opinion?
Good question, something we've been asked a few times. So a cover band is, this is my personal take, I should add, a cover band is a band that basically goes out and performs general covers, whereas a tribute band really tries to faithfully recreate that music note for note, with the exact sounds and all the rest of it. Now, some tribute bands go that extra step further and they dress up like the original musicians and they put on that show almost to recreate that experience that people are seeing the original band. We don't sort of go that far because, to be honest, Floyd didn't really have a huge image. Their image was the light show, I guess, and that's something that we try to deliver to the audience as well.
How did you all meet? Were you architecture students?
No, unlike the original Pink Floyd, we didn't all meet at university or anything like that. The band's evolved over a considerable period of time. I guess the heart and soul of the band is our lead guitarist, Daniel Hunter, and he has been a Floyd fan since his teens, as a lot of us have, and I think he first conceived of the idea of the band in his bedroom, practising along to try and emulate David Gilmour as best as he could. He formed the band with a high school friend. Jason, our drummer, joined after that. And over time, there's been quite a few members go in and out of the band. The current lineup has been in existence for just over a year now, with Matt really completing the picture. Matt's got a really great ability to emulate both Roger Waters and David Gilmour vocally, which is certainly not an easy thing to do. But through various processes, so it's people knowing people. As you play a bit of music, you network and you get to know other musicians. But also we've run some auditions to get the right sort of people to fit the band. So through various means and ways, we've all got together and going really strong now, and not only enjoying playing the music, but really enjoying each other's company, which I think in any work environment, that's really important too, Sarah.
Especially in a big band too.
Correct.
Experience Floyd are with us today. They're bringing their show to the Middleback Theatre in Whyalla very soon. What are the things that you really aim for, particularly when you might have die-hard fans in the audience?
Look, as we said before, I think the aim of the band is to really faithfully recreate that music live on stage through the sounds and through the lighting show. And I think that's what people are coming for. I've certainly been a part of bands in the past where the musicians try to give their own take or their own interpretation on the music. And my opinion is people that are diehards of a band like Pink Floyd, they're not coming to hear your interpretations. They're coming to hear what they know. And for us, that's very, very important. So we spend a lot of time doing our best to recreate that.
Have you had those Floyd fans, aside from yourselves, come up and tell you what they think?
Absolutely. Look, it's always a pleasure at the end of a show to meet the audience and hear what an impact the show has had on them. And for the most part, I have to say we've had fantastic feedback. There's always one or two that says, hey, you didn't play my favourite song, but then I think if we tried to do that, we'd be up there for a lot longer than the 3 hours that we are already.
We'd find a house for you, I think, in Whyalla. So what's a Whyalla crowd like, in your opinion? This is not the first time you've been up there.
No, so this is 1 year anniversary of, we did a show on February the 14th last year, and so February the 13th this year. The Whyalla crowd were fantastic. They were really, really great. I remember thinking up there on stage how well they were listening to every note, and they'd wait for the last note to die out, and then there'd be this huge roar of applause. They were absolutely warm and wonderful, and we do like to go out and meet all the audience afterwards too. And we had a lot of great conversations with people after the show. They just made us feel exceptionally welcome, and we're really excited to be coming back to Whyalla. And that's why we're coming back, because we had such a great time last time.
And I noted that you have headlined this gig as a pre-Valentine's Day gig. Could there be some love in the room, do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. Last year, when we did which was actually on Valentine's Day because the Saturday fell on the 14th, one of our backup singers received a marriage proposal from a member of the audience. So well was she performing. Unfortunately, her now fiancé had beaten that member of the audience to it by a couple of hours. He actually asked her to marry him on the day, on Valentine's Day, just before she did sound check. So she had a wonderful day.
Plenty of offers, I think. Could we see some repeats of that this year?
Oh, I don't know about that. I don't like to get my hopes up.
Well, let's hear a tune. You are going to play us out today. Tell us about it.
We are. We're going to do an acoustic rendition for you of the title track from Wish You Were Here.
Experience Floyd joining us here today on ABC Local Radio.
So you think you can tell heaven from hell
blue skies from pain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? A smile from a veil? Do you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts? Hot ashes for trees, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change. Did you exchange a walk-on part in the war for a lead role in a cage? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Do, 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 How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls swimming in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old fears. Wish you were here.